All right, this is big time. Going live. This is big time. Hopefully, I'm going to be able to talk to my streaming host Wicked today. And let me see if she's around. Hang on a sec. If not, we'll just cover some defensive gun use, and we'll just cover some all right. So we're going to reach out. So what we'll do is let's bring up a Redux article. Actually from Post Millennial. We'll hit that in a second. Give me one sec. What we'll do is we'll get that plan.
581. So the intent of 16.
I'm not sure there's two more organizations, but you two can go ahead and go anyway.
Kelly Beam on behalf of HealthNet of California, serving over 3 million Medi-Cal members in support. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, members, Brandon Marchi with the California Medical Association in support.
Thank you. Seeing no other witnesses in support, witnesses in opposition.
Hi, good morning. My name is Erin Friday, the co-lead of duty, and I'm an attorney. The analysis is wrong. This bill does not align to existing SOAR and Health and Safety 124260, such that minors covered by Medi-Cal can obtain mental health care without parental consent. What it does is greatly expand the power of a counselor relative to residential facilities. This bill permits a counselor to decide if a child 12 or older is mature enough to be placed in a facility away from his parents without any claim of abuse or indication that the child is in danger. 124260 does not address residential facilities, but 6924 does. This bill is state-sanctioned kidnapping. As existing, 6924 requires an allegation of abuse or a risk of serious harm before a counselor can unilaterally send a child to a residential facility. The intent was to prevent suicide, specifically LGBTQ youth. Per the CDC, the year that 6924 was amended, 408 10 to 14-year-olds committed suicide. By 2020, it increased to 581. So the intent of 6924 failed. Suicides for the 14 to 24-year-olds grew to 55,355 over that time. Instead of repealing the failed law, responsibilities for children, their loving families. An example of the caliber of counselors who decide 12-year-old comes home school is Kenna Cook, has access to the kids at Davis Unified. She held a BDSM group called Slaps Giving. She authored blogs, How to Be a Better Butt Slut. 12 is the age that California can steal the rights of parents and hand over mental health decisions to a child or worse, a pervert.
All right, so we had to play that so people could hear it because, So it's from last week. California moves ahead with state-sanctioned kidnapping bill that will allow other therapists to take children from families without notice or provocation. An example of the caliber of counselors who decide if a 12-year-old comes home from school is Kian Cook, who held a BDSM group called Slaps Giving. She authored blogs, How to Be a Better Butt Slut. A California Judiciary Committee heard testimony on Tuesday for and against a bill that would allow a mental health professional to place a child as young as 12 in a residential shelter facility without parental knowledge or consent, without there being any prior allegations of incest or child abuse. Assembly member Wendy Carrillo Carrillo said she was proud to present AB 665 to expand access to mental health care for young people as communities face a mental health crisis. But Aaron Friday, attorney and co-founder of parent group Our Duty, called the bill state-sanctioned kidnapping. Family Code 6924, enacted in 2010 by former Governor Schwarzenegger, gave children 12 and over the ability to access mental health counseling without parental consent, but it requires that there be an allegation of abuse or a risk of serious harm before a counselor can unilaterally send a child to a residential facility. Friday explained that the intent of 6924 was to prevent suicides, specifically among LGBTQ youth, but cited CTC statistics to show that in the year since 6924 came into effect, the suicide rate for 10 to 14-year-olds has soared. Instead of repealing the failed law, the response is to place even more power in the hands of counselors to remove children from their loving families. To remove children from their come on, guys. Who then gave an example of the type of counselor to whom such power would be given. An example of the caliber of counselors who decide as a 12-year-old comes home from school is Kenneth Cook, who has access to the kids at Davis Unified School District. She held this BDSM group called Slapsgiving, How to Be a Better Butt Slut. 12 is the age that California can steal the rights of parents and hand over mental health decisions to a child or worse, a pervert. Kenneth Cook is described in a Facebook post as a pansexual, kink, and polyamory-friendly, fierce femme, and sex-positive parent. She is also a community health worker and sex ed teacher for Community Care Health Centers, which offers affirming services for Yolo County's LGBTQ community. One such service is the Free Binder Project, promoted to girls aged 12 to 26 in the Yolo County region. Adolescent girls seeking to flatten their chests using one of the dangerous chest compression devices provided by the service are assured that the binder will be mailed discreetly to their home or a safe location for pickup. Carrillo spoke of the new reality young people are experiencing, one of mass shootings, fentanyl overdoses, and social media bullying. She quoted CDC statistics indicating that 60% of teenage girls feel persistent sadness and loneliness, and stress the need to shift the stigma around mental health and make it easier for young people using Medicaid to get help. In Carrillo's view, therapists and the government are better placed than parents to deal with difficulty that arises in children's lives. In her opposing testimony, Friday said that AB 665 goes much further than just expanding Medicaid coverage for minors seeking mental health services. She stated that the bill greatly expands the power of a counselor with regard to residential facilities. This bill permits a counselor to decide if a child 12 or older is mature enough to be placed in a facility away from his parents without any claim of abuse or indication that the child is in danger, said Friday. The bill is state-sanctioned kidnapping. I am extremely disturbed by Councilwoman Wendy Carrillo's disingenuous statement that there was bipartisan support for her bill 10 years ago, Friday said. The Democrats tried and failed 10 years ago to pass a bill that gave mental health counselors power to send a child to a residential facility without a claim of abuse or serious harm to the child. The 2010 bill signed into law required these minimum claims. Not one council person questioned her about hate fact, despite us rising it, HTAT fact. Hate, HTAT, I don't know what that is. I truly believe the Democrats know exactly what they were doing, hiding under the cloak of equity to further trample on parental rights. Yeah, sounds like it. Ooh. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
Oh, fantastic. I love this topic.
Oh, sure. Thoughts?
For many, many years, I was very much a loyal Democrat, and I considered myself a liberal. Okay, until this topic came up, and it was so, I couldn't believe that the Democratic Party gave into this kind of degeneracy, this kind of ideology that, okay, first of all, it's a cult. It's a cult that does not believe in science and does not believe in protecting women or children. These people, if you read their literature, if you read the seminal works from the people who have founded this whole movement of this whole transgender movement, a lot of it comes down to pedophilia. They want access to kids, and they say it in their literature, in all of the seminal works. And it's so disturbing. And it's so disturbing that the Democrats have gone along with this because they want to include everybody, I guess, apparently everybody, including pedos. And so here we go. And people like me, who believe in protecting women and children, left. And now I'm looking at the Democratic Party and I'm saying, if you can be so fundamentally wrong about something like this, what else are you fundamentally wrong about? And I left the party. And now I'm looking and I'm seeing that there are people that I am agreeing with before I would have never thought I would be in bed with. But now I am. Because you know what? Who's protecting women and children? And who are the degenerates?
Right.
Yeah, Sorry, I'm sorry. You hear me cooking in the background. sorry, big time.
No, it's okay. I know you said come home from work. That's fine.
Yeah. This is
Yeah, and if I could,
I come from work this time and I do my thing. So, but you know what? But keep talking. I'll chime in if I have anything to say.
No, of course. Well, let me draw a comparison. So I just got in a fight with this over family, and they don't want to. My family just seems to refuse. Certain members of my family just seem to refuse or acknowledge. They don't like to draw parallels that make their side look bad. So
yeah, because I have just really within the last week, I have really looked at this whole situation, and I looked at the people who historically like to experiment on people, physically experiment on people. And you know what? And I'm looking at the Germans and these people who want to experiment on children. Castrating them, doing all the rest of that. I'm like, what side are we on here?
And now, if I could, this is terrible, and I'm going to draw another parallel.
Okay.
And now, I'm not trying to defend the Germans, but from what I've read, the very first transgender surgery was in the Weimar Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
well, you know what? Now. The Germans, you know what? They did a lot of what we would consider unethical experiments on people. Sorry. On people. All kind of different experiments, including, I believe, that.
Well, that was before the camps.
Oh, okay.
That's a very heavy topic to get into, but what I'll say is you always hear about book burnings and everything, but the very first, it was a gay soldier who had the first surgery, and him and the doctor both committed suicide. And when they talk about book burning, the clinic that did the surgery, the surgical journals were books that were burned on the surgery. That's not all that was burned. And I'm not trying to defend anything. What I'm trying to say is the Weimar Republic had brothels and child prostitutes and copious drug use, and you could say that maybe the pendulum started to swing at that time super hard to the other side. Mm-hmm. I'm not defending what it became. I'm not defending what it turned into. But what I'm saying is I'm trying to draw a parallel between what's happening today.
Okay, I'm listening.
Well, I'm just saying, the Weimar Republic, and from my research, was the very first trans surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that led to maybe the rise in nationalism in their country. And I'm not trying to go any further than that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to condone, excuse. I'm just saying that it's also like another thing that this is another fact that people don't like to talk about, because now it feels like I'm justifying the little mustache man. But I have a war report from, have you ever heard of the Black Horror on the Rhine?
No.
After the Treaty of Versailles, because Germans had to pay reparations and restitution
Mm-hmm.
after World War One,
Mm-hmm.
the most common job that most females could get was prostitution.
Right. Mm-hmm.
France had colonized Algiers, parts of West Africa, and they planted African soldiers in Germany as like an outpost, like if the U.S. has a military base in Japan and we have a military base in, like, how we have military bases all around the country in other countries. France placed African soldiers as representatives of France. And that's when the grapes and the child sodomy began.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a war report of something like 20,000 women and children being raped by these Africans. And DZ even talked about it at one point, because she said after that happened, and there was actually propaganda inside of Germany by a certain group of people saying that the German women actually preferred African men in uniform. Now, I can bring that up and I can show you those letters and I can show you the authors,
Mm-hmm.
but that is seen as one of the reasons, again, for the rise in nationalism. And there was even like a Swedish movement of women who tried to write and say that we stand with the women in Germany. This has to stop. And there was a famous, like a British academic who he wrote a lot of studies about the rubber trade in the Congo by the Belgians.
Right.
And he has these studies documenting what happened and how it was a very abusive, abrasive process that, you had to climb the tree to get everything out of the tree and then and it was a horrible process. And those studies are always quoted as like statistical fact. But he would write these letters and they were published in French news. They were published and they were banned in France. And the reports he were writing were becoming banned in Europe. And for some reason, these letters are seen as blasphemy. So, I mean, if I have to be very careful here. If you had an invading force in your country that was doing horrible things to your women and children, like we have now, right?
Yeah.
You just said the Democrats stand for what they stand for.
And they do, and it's reprehensible.
I'm not excusing or I'm trying to disavow what Nazis did, but there were some reasons that people don't talk about. That he didn't just come to power because of racism. There are some other factors.
No, there were a lot of factors. The reason why the guy with the little mustache came to power,
Yeah.
a lot had to do with the fact that everybody did blame Germany for what happened in World War I. Germany had to pay incredible reparations that they couldn't afford because they were scapegoated. And so, yeah, the German people were looking around like, hey, this is not fair. And then here comes this man and he's saying, hey, this is the reason why. And people said, yeah, you know what? Maybe so. And then they had, and this is the first time I've heard about having the African soldiers come into Germany,
The Black Horror on the Rhine.
But I have read about all of the different German children who were biracial with African soldiers. I just didn't know how they got there. And so how the German people treated these children, which was not great. But then again, if you think about it, how would you feel if you've got like this force of people coming in, abusing your women, impregnating them with these children? And of course, they're not like exactly like marrying these women and like taking care of these kids. And so you got all of these, fatherless children. And the German people are looking at this like, this is a problem. I will not defend any way, shape, or form anything that Mr. Little Mustache said or did, but I do understand how things move along a certain path that ended up the way it ended up, and the German people went along with it. Because things move along incrementally. And the next thing it's like, what do they say? You put a frog in a pot with water and you slowly turn up the heat.
Yeah.
The frog doesn't understand that it's about to boil itself alive. And that's what happened to the German people, I believe. I believe that they had a lot of legitimate issues. And here's this person coming along and he's got these answers. He's slowly turning up the heat. And the next thing you know, you've got a whole country that's going along with some really, really horrible, heinous acts. But how did they get there? That's the thing. How did they get there?
Yeah.
The reason why they got there is because of legitimate concerns.
Yeah.
And some was bullshit.
Oh yeah, I'm saying that was something I learned about. And I know there's a guy I follow who likes to show propaganda in video games.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to show how video games are essentially trying to kind of change history.
Mm-hmm.
Like he covered a video game called Red Dead Redemption 2, and they were trying to do the noble savage myth. And he was pulling books out showing that Indians used to do box fires and cliff dives, and that Indians were shown to the whole kill one buffalo and everything, use everything on the buffalo. That's all crap. They were known for killing up to 350, 400,000 buffalo a year and just leaving the carcasses behind. And then once they got horses, then they became just as bad as Europeans, and Europeans even believed that by killing all the buffalo, they could wipe away the Indians. But the idea is that basically the Indians did it too. This whole thing of, oh, they would kill one. No, that's all crap. They killed as many as they wanted and then just took what they wanted and left the rest to die.
Well, there's the whole mythology over the indigenous people in the United States. Well, I'm just going to say in the United States, where, everything that they ever did was wonderful. They never did anything negative, and they were just complete victims. If you actually look at the history of indigenous people, they were doing their thing. But when they got the opportunity to be wretched, they were just as wretched as everybody else. They don't talk about the fact that the 5 tribes, that's what they call them, owned a lot of slaves and treated them as bad or worse as, whoever else owned slaves. And even there is a story about how, they talk about when President Andrew Jackson, made them walk that Trail of Tears. Well, a lot of them owned slaves, and they took their slaves with them, and the slaves starved and died along the whole journey with them. And at the end of the journey, Did they free their slaves? Nope. 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 Not at all. They kept the slaves with them that they owned. And as a matter of fact, after, the Civil War, when, Black people were freed from slavery, Native Americans who owned slaves refused to give up their slaves until they were compensated. So let's not talk about like the noble indigenous people who were just like, like this wonderful society where everybody lived well and did wonderful things, because they were as reprehensible as anybody else and still are.
Right. Well, yeah. What would DZ say? They open more casinos than rec centers and women's shelters, right?
Right. And look at what's happening with them. They talk so much about, okay, these are our missing sisters. What are you doing about it? What are the men doing about it? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I could delve into that too, but all right. Well, let me do this.
Okay, go for it.
I think today was your side, or did you want to present anything, or did you want me to go in and make a
No, you know what? You
comparison today?
go ahead, and I'm just I think I'm just going to be your sidekick on the side here.
Give me my sidekick. All right.
I am your sidekick at this point.
Wow. No, I feel like a Democrat.
Oh no.
All right. I mean,
Well, you know what?
Right.
If you feel like a Democrat, I don't feel like a Democrat because I'm not a Democrat.
all right. Well, let me do this. We were talking about last week. I remember we said we were going to talk about Chicago and the Cabrini Green projects, the Cabrini Green apartments,
Yes.
and the woman who lived there, and she tried to go in and remove everybody, and then like a month later, it didn't matter.
Right. We were talking about Jane Byrne, who was the mayor of
Jane
Chicago,
Byrne.
and she tried to, go ahead and make this whole thing where she was going to go in and move into like, Cabrini Green and clean it up. And it was all a publicity. It was a publicity stunt because nothing changed with Cabrini Green. The only thing changed with Cabrini Green is when they actually tore it down.
All right. Well, let me do this. I have a couple videos from Temple, and I just want to show. And I have well, let me show you a couple videos. Oh, do I have this one? University campus. Yeah. Okay. So here's an example of Temple's security. And I'll just keep this on, and I'll just look for stuff on YouTube, and I want to
Johnny, in a moment.
draw a comparison between what happened. Jason Wingard, the president of Temple, just stepped down.
Okay.
And I'll pull up as much videos as I can and I'll try to get you. And I want to draw a parallel between what he did and what that lady did in Cabrini Green.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want to show some. So here's Temple security. Here's how useless they are.
Why the university says security guards didn't get involved, but that Good Samaritan and others tell us they are tired of being placed in unsafe situations, both on and off Temple's campus.
Listen how dumb this girl is.
Something needs to be done. I should have never been in that situation.
Temple University freshman Veronica Wren and her friend are the Good Samaritans who stepped in to help a man who, as the
Look at us. Warm. The keys.
video shows, was being assaulted by people. It happened yesterday afternoon at the corner of Broad and Cecil B. Moore Avenue on the school's campus.
See the guard?
Mm-hmm.
They were chasing him, throwing like a traffic cone at him, and eventually they had cornered him near the Cecil B station, which you can see in the video.
Wren tells us she's frustrated. She and her friend tried to disperse the crowd while two security guards dressed in yellow stood back and didn't intervene.
It didn't matter what happened to me. It just mattered that someone didn't feel alone.
Temple's Director of Public Safety, Dr. Jennifer Griffin, says the role of security guards is only to report troublesome activity and adds that's exactly what they did after a disturbance started in Morgan Hall and spilled onto the street. But police arrived as the crowd dispersed and the man declined to press charges.
They're not trained, and that's, not the role for them. But yes, it definitely doesn't look good. And we really appreciate the students who stepped in and engaged as well.
The incident is the latest.
Then why do you have them?
Right.
What the fuck? And I'll bring up an extra video and I'll ask your opinion.
Issue of violence near the North Philadelphia campus. John Mangan doesn't feel the university is transparent enough. So this started an Instagram account called Keep Us Safe TU a few months ago that reports crime near campus.
The heart of the problem with everything going on.
Zaddy, right? Okay. So basically, I'm using a couple videos here to prove that Temple did nothing. They won't release. They're seen by students to be slow on informing students. They're slow at letting students know what's happened. They're slow at responding. They're slow or actually just not responding at all. And they've been saying for like 2 years, they're going to hire more cops. They're going to hire more cops. They never did. So now we have a student who started an Instagram account called Keep Us Safe TU. And all it does is report crime around Temple. That's all it does. And all the other students can come in, and that's all he does. So again, the school did nothing. And I have the Instagram account. I have it up in case you want to look at it. But this is the guy who made it because he was tired of the school not doing anything. Zaddy?
That's what he is.
Okay.
Taking charge.
Now is the detachment from leadership.
I thought that I could be safe going here. But
What do you think about that statement?
Can you repeat that?
Sure.
I thought that I could be safe going here. But in a situation like that, I didn't feel that way at all.
The university is always looking at how it's deploying resources, technology, and working with Philadelphia police to keep everyone safe.
I am concerned. We are all working on a daily basis how we can make this campus safer, how we can make the community safer.
See that word she used?
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue I always have with these fucking people, meaning her and Jason Wingard. They always say community first and then the students second. And when they say community, they mean North Philadelphia. Oh, the community. What are we going to do about the community? Who fucking cares?
But what about the kids who are spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go there?
Right.
What about their safety?
Right. If you want to be a politician, run for city council. If you want to be the president of Temple, protect your kids.
Right.
So I brought up this video to show that the security guards don't do shit. They don't do anything. Here, I got another one. I should have another one. All right.
Leonardo
Should have another one. I have a couple of videos here.
As well, and concerns extend to
So now parents are paying for bodyguards for their
the
kids.
city's college campuses as well. Parents who send their kids to college may expect to help them with tuition, books, and rent. But as Eyewitness News reporter Matt Petrillo reports, a group of Temple University parents are now paying for their children's private security.
Well, private security isn't cheap. The mother who's organizing it here at Temple says it's costing more than $1,000 a month.
My husband and I put our heads together and thought, what can we do right now?
Jennifer Hedberg.
You could take your kid out of Temple,
Okay.
right?
They're better schools.
Temple's not even that good a school.
That's what I'm saying. They're better
They-
schools.
They got a really good dental program and they have a decent music program. But
Center, Temple University, to study industrial systems engineering. But she says fears of her son's safety have grown since another student, Sam Collington, was shot in.
And this kid was shot coming home from Thanksgiving by a black 17-year-old who had been in court for another carjacking, but the witness never showed up, so they let him go. But he had already, of course he had a CVS receipt of a record. And I have, and this is, remember I told you white people are saying they deserve to die? I have an interview with friends of this kid, and they said, well, actually, the killer was the real victim. I have that article.
Okay.
I have that article.
Their campus last year.
He has definitely
I can't even talk to people anymore unless I'm allowed to present facts and evidence, like video or articles, because I don't even want to talk to people anymore.
felt an increase in anxiety and stress about safety.
So she and a small group of parents have now hired JNS Protection Services. The private security company now patrols by car.
This area is clear.
And by foot 5 days a week through the end of the semester. If there's an issue, Temple Police is called.
We're there to help. We're there to, hopefully work together with them so that the crime can cease.
JNS's patrol area stretches from Diamond to Burke Streets between 15th and 19th. Temple's own campus safety patrols most of the same area as well. And Temple is also working to hire more officers, but parents like Hedberg didn't want to wait.
They're hiring, they're vetting these new candidates, they're training these new candidates, but that takes a lot of time. But we have the need right now.
Do you think that woman voted for defund the police?
Of course.
Do you think she voted for?
They don't even know what defund the police means. It's just a slogan.
Well, she knows a black person said it, so it must be righteous. She's white and she's evil, right? All right, I got one more. All right, what do you think? Okay, what do you think of this? Again, the parents. So we have the students and the parents doing something because the school ain't going to do shit.
No, of course not. Even though the kids that attend there are spending many thousands of dollars, will be in debt for years with their student loans, but the campus cannot keep them safe.
Right. So here's what's. Let me bring it back. Where is it? All right, I got one more video I want to show.
Okay.
All right. Well, actually, I have a lot of videos, but there's a video I want to show of. Well, let me show you this. This was their response. This is what Temple decided to do.
Right, 6:45 now, happening today. Temple University opening its new Center for Anti-Racism. The facility encouraging researchers to come together to educate the public about racial inequity and injustice. $1 million state grant helped to fund that project.
Okay, I'm lost. So they're going to give $1 million to talk about racial injustice.
Safety.
But what about the kids who are being terrorized? I mean, regardless of who's doing it, whether it's kids who are black or Hispanic or whoever, you're putting the emphasis where it doesn't belong. Let's put the emphasis on keeping the kids safe. Everything is so backwards nowadays. It's like, okay, we have so much sympathy for the killers, but not the victims.
Here it is.
Okay. Everybody had a horrible upbringing.
Let me give an example. I mean, I have videos, but
Go on. Go for it.
Right. All right. This is an example. All right. This is an example. All right. This is an example of the delusional shit I'm tired of seeing.
So Grant Saunders was still in the aquarium a couple of days ago. He's home now, but he is hoping that police can catch 4 people in Broad at 15th and Jefferson.
The 4 people. The 4 men.
4 guys almost hit me on my sport.
4 guys. Even he's a pussy. I wonder if he was just taught the anti-racism, or I wonder if he was coached by the news.
Jumped out of the car and it almost immediately surrounded.
Were they Asians? Were they Nigerians? Were they Koreans?
Me and started jumping me. I didn't really stand much chance against 4 people.
Well, that depends. Did you have a gun?
Those 4 men seen here.
Okay.
Here. Seen here.
I got better video evidence. Don't worry. Oh, okay. 4 men. Yeah, they got hoods and masks on. Maybe the Pooh Shiesty masks.
Here
But
on
don't
police
worry.
crime cameras, broke his leg, shattered his ankle.
Honestly, I thought I
So they broke his leg in 2 places.
was going to die at that point.
And just left him there.
Then they went to Popeyes.
Robbed him
celebratory
and spent
meal?
his money. The first stop was Popeyes, just a few blocks away. Birds couldn't really see them.
There. 4 black kids. There.
4 criminals.
There's there. 4 black
4
kids.
violent criminals.
There he is on cam. There, yeah, but 4 men, 4 boys, 4 guys, 4 black teens. Well, he took his mask off. He's on camera.
They don't care about that because they know that they are protected.
No,
They are.
Yeah.
They are protected.
I mean how the news is talking about it. I mean how this kid is talking about it. 4 black guys jumped me. He's not black?
Black as can be. Blackity black,
He's
black, black.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. It
He's
is what
black.
it is.
How do they stand? How do they swing their arms? How do they walk? How do they look at the shuffle. Look how he's leaning back as he walks. Right? Look at him swing his arms around. Look how he talks. Look at the expressions.
It's you
It's
know
just
what?
how they talk
It's-
about it. Like
It's frustrating on both sides. It's frustrating on both sides. It's frustrating if you are not black to look at that and you're like, okay, here we go. You know, how do I say I've been victimized by a bunch of black people without sounding racist? But it was a bunch of black people that victimized you and who got away with it. You know, how are you a polite victim?
Right. Well, again, I can kind of see that, but we got the video.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
This guy was jumped and beaten by a group of young black men. And you can't say that because that may offend somebody.
It's the entire thing.
The incident, and as soon as the people who jumped me drove away, they got out of the car and immediately picked me up.
And they took you to the hospital.
Yes, just out of the kindness of their hearts, which I'm grateful for.
The students also called his family in North Jersey.
Nobody deserves to send their kids to college and, and then have these phone calls. It's not fair.
No. I mean, which direction do you want me to go in?
Any direction you want.
Or am I just taking the lead? All right, so he stepped down. All right, well, all right. Let's talk about. All right, so all right. Let me do a comparison. You know what? Let me go off YouTube to Google. So this for the first in the first time in history, a cop was shot. So
Shooting
first,
in North Philadelphia. University police officer is dead after a shooting in North Philadelphia. They say the officer was on patrol o'clock this evening when he was shot in the head, telling us it happened as he tried to stop an attempted robbery suspect. That officer was taken to Temple University Hospital where he died.
and surprisingly enough, it was a white guy. A white guy robbed an Asian student because I have video of the robbery.
Mm-hmm.
He pointed a gun at an Asian student. Asian student gave him the keys. Cop came over. He shot the cop in the head and killed him.
Wow.
But then when the family came to visit the spot, what's up? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
And then when his family came to visit the spot where he died, 2 kids were shot a block away. And then the following day, 7 kids were shot outside of a school by 3, it looks like black teens getting out of a car, like Pooh Shiesty mass and shit. So this is the main thing that pushed the whole thing over.
Mm-hmm.
So he was asked questions. Now his answer was he was going to move onto campus. I don't know which direction to go in. Which direction am I going to go in? So he was going to move onto campus. That was one of his answers. So let me bring up that video. I'm just trying to give you as much information as I can.
University
But I
student
like to show, not tell.
President Jason Wingard and his family. Temple's president says this is more than just a PR move amid concerns over violence around campus. Action News reporter Corey Davis is live in North Philadelphia with what the president says he is trying to accomplish. Corey.
Hey, Matt, good morning. Yeah, we're told that he's trying to show his further commitment to engaging not only with the 37,000 students here at Temple University, but also the community in those surrounding neighborhoods. Jason Wingard, the president of Temple University, he will be pretty much in the mix of everything. The Cora Center is down the street from his future home. I want to give you a look there at where he's going to be living. We're being told that Wingard will sell his home, which is currently in Chestnut Hill, and then he'll move into a row house on North Carlisle Street, a block off of campus. It's just off of Broad Street between Norris and Diamond Streets and still within Temple University Police Patrol Zone. The university owns the home that Wingard will live in with his wife and 13-year-old son. The couple's other 4 children are away at school right now. Wingard will be the first Temple University president to live this close to campus, rather even on campus too, in decades. He said, quote, "We intend on deepening relationships with neighbors, students, faculty, and staff as part of our efforts to demonstrate how Temple can impact the future through authentic engagement." So a major focus moving forward, of course, will be crime prevention. Wingard's Violence Reduction Task Force released safety recommendations last month, stating that the university must play a key role to help reduce high crime rates in surrounding North Philadelphia neighborhoods. There have been recent shootings off campus within 3 to 4 blocks of Wingard's future home. And within the last month, Temple students have been robbed in their off-campus homes on at least 2 occasions, along with 2 recent armed robberies of students who were walking near campus as well. So a lot for Wingard to continue to tackle.
What did you think was about him trying to move onto campus?
You know what? He can move on campus if he wants, but this man has his own private security, right? I mean, he's got security from the school. So he's not the regular Joe Blow who's like going to live on campus. He has a whole different position. He's not moving around like the kids who, you know, may be coming home from a party or going to school or anything like that. This man has security. It's a joke. It's insulting to the regular people who live in that neighborhood, for the kids, for the parents who send their children away to get an education and their children are being put in harm's way. Now, here comes this man trying to make a publicity stunt, and you can bet he's got security. He's not like these kids. It does remind me of when Jane Byrne decided to move into Cabrini Green back in the 70s, to show whatever she wanted to show. It's just publicity. It means nothing, and it means nothing to the students because this man is above all of that. It's a joke. It's insulting. What are you actually going to do for the regular kids who live there, who are being, exploited, who are being brutalized, who are being subjected to this kind of violence? This is not him. They've got a whole different situation going on. And what is he doing to actually protect them? Is he hiring real staff? Real protective staff, real security staff to help protect these kids who are spending thousands and thousands, because I know it's not cheap. How much does it cost to go to that school? What's tuition? What's yearly tuition? I don't know. I know that here in Illinois,
40,000 out of state.
40. Okay, because that's a lot of money. It's a lot
That's
of
out
money
of state
to me.
though.
Even if it's in state, was it 30,000? That's a lot of money.
Maybe 12 to 15, I think. Yeah.
Well, 12. That's not bad. That's not bad. Because I know that my niece goes to Loyola, and Loyola is 65,000 a year. And if her parents didn't think that she was going to be protected, I don't think they would pay that kind of money. And I don't think a lot of people would pay that kind of money to put your child in harm's way just to get an education. So he's doing a publicity stunt, but what's actually filtering down to the average kid that attends that school?
I'm trying to give me a second. I'm trying to find this article, but it probably got bad press, so they might have taken it down. It's not the most organized right now, but Philadelphia City Council. I don't know if I can find it now. I know it's somewhere on YouTube. But essentially, he gave an interview where he was saying he didn't know what to do. They need more programs. And then the Philadelphia City Council said they were going to hire another bureaucrat for $200,000.
Instead of like some real cops to put like on, feet on the ground.
I wanted to bring this up. We're gonna have an issue now finding the video I just played. Yes, this is sometimes I hate YouTube. It's like they purposely try to hide the video they don't want you to see. It's annoying. So West Virginia passed campus carry. Here we go.
controversial bill to allow more guns on college campuses in West Virginia.
Of course, that's how they frame it. Of course.
Passed the House of Delegates today. On a vote of 84-13, the House of Delegates passed what's known as the Campus Self-Defense Act of 2023. It would allow students, teachers, and staff at any of West Virginia's public colleges or universities to carry a weapon for self-defense. They would have to have a concealed carry permit and the training that goes along with it. Critics say that it will make campuses more dangerous, but a former state police trooper who witnessed the Virginia Tech massacre some 15 years ago says that someone armed could have stopped that.
Norris Hall looks like something out of a movie, only worse. By the time I entered Norris Hall, there were 31 dead individuals in there. That was 30 victims plus the shooter.
There's a real mental health crisis on campus, and a lot of people with mental health issues have suicidal thoughts. And making guns easier to obtain, unfortunately, makes suicides more likely to be successful.
And if it does become law, there will be some restrictions. For example, you could not bring a concealed carry weapon into a college sporting event attended by more than 1,000 people.
What do you think?
Well, I personally believe in the Second Amendment. Okay, I believe that you should be able to protect yourself from whoever. And I don't care if I'm on a college campus or not, because obviously people get attacked on college campuses. People get, they get raped on college campuses, and they get killed on college campuses. So why can't students protect themselves? If they are of age and meet the requirements to own a gun, why not have a gun to protect yourself? Why is it a big deal? Why don't they have Second Amendment rights?
Yeah, that's something I didn't understand, which is, and this came in response to the Michigan State shooter, the Michigan State University shooter, who was a Dusty, and he was caught with a gun. It wasn't illegal, but he didn't have a concealed carry. So, and Michigan law apparently is 2 years, but he got probation.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. And then it's just so weird that then all the students went to protest saying, why aren't you protecting us?
Yes. Why are they spending all of this money to get an education and they're not being protected?
Well, what they wanted to do was they wanted to ban guns. And that's
Okay,
what the students are. That's what the students and Democrats are going for.
So you want to ban guns for people who want to protect themselves, but of course the criminals, they have all the guns in the world because they don't care about the law.
Actually, let me do this. Let's actually with one of your stories. You said a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. I also don't recommend this. This is stupid. Don't do it. As a legal gun owner myself, don't do this. This is dumb. She will never take it out in time.
Guns aren't a miracle cure. You have to know
what you're doing with it. And I think a lot of people do sort of present firearm ownership as like it's this miracle cure and nothing bad's going to happen to you and there's no way you're ever going to be raped and there's no way you're ever going to be robbed. And that's not true. It's not. And I'd be lying to you if I said it was. But the thing is, my firearm is an equalizer. You know, like I said, when it came to that moment and I had to fight someone off, I couldn't do it. I wasn't strong enough. You know, I weighed 100 pounds less than I do now and I'm 4'9". Like, I couldn't fight him off no matter how hard I tried. But my gun served.
That's a decent grip. It looks like she knows what she's doing. She's got a high grip here. Both her thumbs are stacked. It looks like she's taught well.
Serves as an equalizer. It doesn't
Sorry, can't help it.
negate his power, but it brings mine up so I at least have a fighting chance.
Oh, man. All her shots are to the left. Holy shit. Girl, you got to fix that. Thoughts? What'd you think, Wicked? Is my mic not working? My mic working? Yeah, my mic's working. Okay. Headphones are working. Hey, Wicked, you there? Did I lose you? Oh, hey, did I lose you? I got two of you in here now. Oh, man, the StreamYard not working. I don't know if you're on mute or not. I don't have you muted. Yeah, if you want to try to come back out and come back in, I'll the link down again. Put in the private chat as well. Put in both chats. Should be in there. We're having technical difficulties. StreamYard, you're killing me. Well, we know that's a depressing topic, so maybe we'll go to the Linda Fricky. And let me know if you can, let me know if you want to jump back in if you got time. I covered this yesterday. Or maybe we can go to Redux. I think you're locked out. How? How did I? What I had, let me see. I had you on, I actually had two screens on here that were on you. So let me see. Are you in the private chat? No. I'll tell you what, this is what I'll do. I'll try to, I'm going to shut down and I'll do a new stream. Let me see if that works. There's the comments. All right. I'm going to, I'll shut down and I'll pull up a new stream. Would that work? I don't know why you'd be locked out. I didn't, oh wait, there you are. Okay, there you are. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I like. I just had you on the stream. Oh, I'll tell you what. Let me cover another topic. Let's go to Redux. Let's switch gears here. I'll keep trying to bring you back up. I'm not sure what happened. You just popped on and I saw you and it was working and I could hear you. Oh, wait, there you are. I'm not touching anything. Got you. Are you good? Are you back? I think you're back.
Hello. I don't know what's going on. I don't know
We
what's
got
happening.
we got you back, Wicked. You back?
Happening.
Can you hear me?
I don't know.
Can you hear me? I can hear you now.
Do, 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 do.
Can you hear me?
I'm here.
All right, I can hear you. Got you. You hear me?
Oh, hey.
Can you hear me,
All right,
Wicked?
StreamYard. What the heck's going on?
Oh, damn, she stepped out again. All right, I'm gonna shut down the stream and I'm gonna restart another stream. Let me see if that works. And I got you here. All right, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm gonna do it and try it one more time.